CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. We provide highly trained volunteers to work with individual children who are in the system to provide advocacy. These individuals work with the child directly, just getting to know them, but they do a lot more than that. They're actually involved with every aspect of the child's life, and that means a lot.
CASAs are like the grout that fills in the tile of all of the social services of society that we spend our taxpayer money on. And a lot of the crevices between those tiles are actual advocacy for children, which doesn't exist in a very meaningful way.
There's a direct correlation with lack of stability in a child's life and our having to deal with them later on as they progress from juveniles into adulthood. CASAs provide some mentorship, some direction, gives them some stability, someone they can lean on. And sometimes in a juvenile's life, they don't have none of that. And so the ability to have at least somebody, that can be crucial for them.
It's hard for them sometimes to be able to have their own voice or to have their voice be loud enough for people to hear. So when you have an advocate with you that can actually help portray what you're trying to say, that can help immensely in the process.
These children, when they come into care, they may or may not go into a foster home, but if they do go into foster care, they may be moved around several times. They may end up with several schools. They may end up with several therapists, several different doctors. A CASA volunteer, when they're assigned to work with a child, they stay with that child for the life of the case.
There's two really big reasons that CASAs are advantageous to children. One is that they get to know the child and can represent the child to the court in a very different way from the caseworker or the child's attorney or any other party. They also present that from a best interest of the child perspective that no other party is generally presenting.
There are many studies that show that children that are in care who have a CASA spend half the amount of time in care. They're less likely to return into care. They're more likely to graduate high school. So we're not just making sure the child is getting what they need. We're helping make sure this child's going to grow and thrive and become a part of our community. Something we're currently working on to help increase the amount of CASA volunteers we have are to work with businesses within our community to sponsor their workers by allowing and helping employees have time to volunteer, and in this case, volunteer for CASA. They're investing in their community. They're investing in their company culture. When employees know that the business is invested in their community, they're going to be invested in that employer as well.
The best part about being a CASA is that you get to give back to your community and you get to watch a child grow. Being a CASA volunteer is vital to our community. There are many children who are in need, who need somebody who's willing to take on tough cases and help advocate for a child in need. And I think that that's really the reward in this, is that you know that you've made a difference in your community.
We have a pretty big need for CASA volunteers right now. Our hope is always that every child has a CASA volunteer. It is best for the child, it is best for the family, it is best for our community if this child can have a CASA volunteer.